Hey players, and welcome to the 8-Bit Embassy. I don't normally do reviews here, but I want to share something with you that I don't think is getting enough attention out there, and I just wanted to raise the awareness and share some love. So what we're talking about today is the Lightning Modz V2 console. So that is this item here. Doesn't look like much, looks like it belongs on a receptionist's desk, but don't be deceived, because in this little box is a powerhouse of retro gaming goodness, which I have been particularly impressed with. So before I get into the really interesting stuff, the hardware and how it performs, I just want to touch on the company itself, because I think that is real important when you're dealing with a device like this. I've been burned before. I think probably most people have. We're into the retro gaming scene, right? So I asked a few questions before I made my purchase to help me make my mind up, just get some reassurance. They answered all my questions really quickly. Didn't leave me hanging for more than an hour or two at most. In one case, they even sent me a video showing exactly what I asked for. It's bespoke for me, so I had a really good feel about the company, and I was quite happy to drop some pounds on them. Okay, so let's have a little look at the hardware. So first off, you've got a passport drive, Toshiba branded in my case, so it's a quality item. Should last. That's a 2 terabyte version. The console itself, which is a mini PC. Looks like it belongs on a receptionist's desk, but don't be fooled by that. Loads of USB connections, front and back. Networkable by Ethernet or by the antenna. Wi-Fi. Headphone jack. Microphone in. Yep, I mean, it's pretty unsexy as consoles go, but on the plus side, it's very low profile. You stick it up on your machine, it doesn't take up much space, and it's practically invisible. And the controller. I went for the one controller option, which I regret now, because I thought I knew these controllers, because I've had them before, bundled with pies and things, and they were rubbish. But this one is actually much better, and I wish I'd bought a second. And it pairs straight out of the box, no connection issues like I've had with others, no dead zones in the sticks, diagonals are good and easy. Yes, I like this controller. For the price, it's a good controller, but you can spec in anything you want. You can get an 8-bit do if you want, or something similar. So, here we are with the main screen, and there it is set up. Can you see it? I did tell you it was discreet. Here it is. So, does it really matter if it doesn't look great? If it doesn't look bad? It's just a very low profile black box, and that's fine, because it just like it wasn't there. So before we get into it, I want to say that I paid the full asking price for this product. They didn't know I was going to be making a review of it, and I didn't tell them. So they were still courteous and prompt with all the questions both before and after I placed the order. And the product took about 2 weeks to reach me. Whether that's normal or not, I have no idea. But that was my experience. So all of that said, let's go check it out. So I was going to set up the capture card, but then I thought, well, anyone can fake that. Why don't I show the real thing? If you want to see captured footage, I'm sure you can find it. But this is exactly how it starts up the first time. There's no setup. Turn it on. That is so much quicker than my Pi, and it's got probably 10 times as much stuff on it. There we go, bosh, straight into it. So the front end is very nice. There isn't any missing artwork, no missing videos, no file not found like I've got with so many of my other devices. The experience is just, it's been curated very nicely. So all I need to do now is pair the controller with one press of the button, and we're in, and off we go. What should we try first? So look at what it's got on it. You can just look at the website to find out what it's got on there. Obviously it's got these things on here, the NES, obviously they've got to be there. but they've been emulated just fine for many, many years. I'm not going to waste time showing you them now. These are the sexy things. The GameCube works really nice. Have not had any trouble with that. 3DO, Sega CD, but the real good stuff here now. We've got the Dreamcast, the Model 3, the Saturn. That was been such a pain to emulate for so long. But this has just smashed it. I mean, I personally haven't had any trouble with it yet. I've not had the device that long. I know there's a couple of games have got some minor glitching on, but all the ones I've tried have run straight away. Sometimes you have to change the emulator, which is a very simple thing to do. You can find a video how to do that from the guy at Game Zone Bird Room. He's done a couple of videos on how to add games to these things, which I'm going to try myself. Not that I don't really feel the need to add too many games right now, because there's quite a lot for me to work through first. This was the first game I booted up. Wasn't really expecting it to work that well, but I was very pleasantly surprised. Well, this actually looks better than it did in the arcade. Normally this was on a big projection screen that was all burnt in, and if not, it was on a CRT and it wasn't upscaled and high def like this is. Well, I've got performance anxiety on the gameplay. I'm not playing that great. That always happens. But you can't fault this, right? And if the time comes, you've had enough, a press of the controller, and we're back. What do we fancy next? Probably want to see some Saturn, don't you? Well, it's very easy to add your favourites. All these games, you're going to want a link to your favourites. So when you find a game in this menu that you want, you just hold the triangle button, and it adds it to your favourites. And then you can access all your favourites here. So there you go. You're getting a little glimpse into my personality. These are my favourite games here. Everything on this list, every game I've tried so far, bar Pinball Fantasies on the Amiga, works perfectly. One game out of the thousands I've tried so far didn't work very well. I can live with that. I can play that on a dozen other devices I have here. So, what was I looking for? Got distracted with talking. So, Sega Rally on the Saturn. I wanted to see this in particular because I've been waiting a long time to play this without glitches and weird stuff going on. By the way, the bezels, you can turn them off pretty easily if you're not a fan of the bezels. I like these bezels better than I like a lot of other bezels. They're not too loud, they're pretty discreet, they set the tone quite nicely, so someone's thought about that. Some of the systems I prefer to turn them off. The Amiga CD32 are a little loud. It's easy to turn them off. I mean, real easy. So. So the analog stick is nice and responsive, and the graphics are smooth, they're upscaled, some good detail. There's loads of settings on the emulators if you really want to dig in and customise it with different looks and stuff, but you know, I haven't felt the need yet anyway. Other than turn the bezels off occasionally on some of the systems, I've done that, but everything seems to be run. I got the sense that the guys who set this up have been through very carefully, just tweaked everything so it is fine, which is not what you get with a lot of the other systems. There's missing elements here and there, and whole systems that haven't worked properly, and it's like, well, I paid good money for this. So you can see how perfectly this is running. It's absolutely spot on. And it's 1994 again, and I'm recovering from the surgery I had borrowing my friend's Sega Dreamcast in my ice cold bedroom. And we're straight back to this again. So, let's say, all these systems, some of which you've probably got emulation device on, these need to be there. Of course you've got to have the Mega Drive, of course you've got to have the Master System and the NES and the SNES and the Game Boy Advance and things, but you don't need to pay nearly £300 for a system that will do that. Obviously this system is worth the money because it can do these extras that you just don't get on your Odroids or your Pis. And you're obviously paying for the time these guys have invested in to making sure everything is just sweet. All these little details, I really appreciate them. I haven't tried this game yet. I thought it would be a good one to test it on. So let's see. We get a live demonstration of the reliability. Okay, I guess we will then. The Amiga emulation, which is something I'm particularly fond of, loads quicker. It's better than the discs. Better than because it runs from the WHD files, which is like the hard drive installed file, so it loads instantly. It's not like it's emulating a disk. But I digress. Now this is better than the GameCube because it's upscaled and you've got HDMI and arguably better controller for this particular game. So hey, I failed. I failed the tutorial. Okay, so as a demonstration of gameplay, not great, but as a demonstration of the capabilities of this machine, I would say perfect. Better than the real thing, which I didn't think was possible. Okay, just because it's a passion of mine, I'm going to show you the Amiga and how quickly that loads. I'm going to pick a random game. Bear in mind, Amiga as well is one of those systems that can be a bit temperamental to emulate here and there. There's loads of different variables and things. I'd say so far, having played Amiga more than any of the other systems, I found one game that didn't work. I can deal with that, considering the thousands and thousands and thousands that do. I can't remember if it was Pinball Fancies or Pinball Illusions, but one of those. The other one worked, by the way. Look how fast that was, we're into it. We haven't got to wait for the, imagine the disc grinding away. To be able to go from like GameCube to Amiga in 2 clicks is just incredible to me. So, and when it comes to turn it off, press that button and shut down. And it goes away. So, final thoughts. Does it do what it claims to do? Oh yes, it sure does. It's better than I ever dared to hope it could be. Could you do it yourself cheaper? Maybe a little bit. But personally, I value my time too much for that. And there's no way, even with weeks on it, I wouldn't be able to do it. There'd be missing files and artwork and videos. There's something would be wrong. This is slick. It works out of the box, just like... There's less setup on this than there was a modern games console. And that's a rare thing. There's no downloading massive patches and setting up accounts left, right and centre. You just turn it on and it goes. And it's intuitive. I couldn't find anything even approaching the price of this. That I haven't reviewed them, of course, but there were ones that are much more expensive that claim to do the same. This is just outstanding value. If you just want to play NES and Mega Drive, and sure, just get a Pi, that's fine. But if you want those disc-based systems from the 2000s and have it all on one system, this is the way to go, totally. And it's been so well done. It's been done with a clear passion, and all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. It's such a nice experience from the moment you turn it on and I turn it off satisfied. And you don't get that with all those flaky systems that I've had before. They're such a pain. There's always something wrong. You spend half your time trying to set up a controller or something. So Lightning Modz, I'm raising a glass to you this weekend, and I am going to just make the most of my purchase.